Are you ready? Check out the latest from Bizista. It's trending videos. We're here to bring you awesome content. 11 years after Scarlett Johansson's debut as Natasha Romanoff in Iron Man 2 and finding herself as one of the most relatively famous and relatable characters in the MCU because she doesn't have any superpower, she finally has her own solo movie. In this video, we'll be talking about the events that took place in ScarJo's Black Widow and pinpoint their places in the MCU timeline to help guide wondering fans. Keep in mind, however, that we will be discussing details in the film which means there will be spoilers. 1995 Natasha's Childhood. We start off the movie in 1995, where we see a young Natasha Romanoff living in Ohio with Yelena Belova, her adoptive sister, and her adoptive parents. Undercover Russian agent Alexei Shostakov, a super soldier, and Melina Vostokov, a Black Widow. We see a rough start in her childhood, establishing that Natasha never had a normal one. The family finishes their mission to steal S.H.I.E.L.D. intel and proceed to escape to Cuba and meet up with their boss, General Dreykov. After meeting up, Natasha and Yelena are sent to the Red Room for training. During this time in the MCU timeline, there wasn't really a lot yet going on with our familiar characters, except Captain Marvel returning to Earth. The early 2000s, the Budapest Operation. Years after the training with the Red Room and becoming a full-blown Black Widow like her adoptive mother, Natasha decides to defect to S.H.I.E.L.D., who ask her to bomb General Dreykov's office in Budapest in exchange for the freedom provided by S.H.I.E.L.D. This was during the operation referred to as the Budapest Operation that should have finally ended the Red Room program. Having been referenced in the first Avengers movie by both Clint and Natasha, the Budapest Operation was believed to have been the first time the two have met. It's also believed to be the first mission together, even believed to have spent days together up in vans during the mission. 2016 Sokovia Accords. The film then transitions to Romanoff in 2016, on the run as a fugitive for violating the Sokovia Accords, one of the bigger deals in Captain America's Civil War. Of course, this part of the movie, which happens to be the majority of the film, takes place during and after Civil War and just before the events of Avengers Infinity War and Ant-Man and the Wasp. Natasha Romanoff flees to a safe house in Norway where she hides away from the US Secretary of State. During this time of hiding, her past comes knocking back with the introduction of a lot of characters she had known back during her Black Widow days. Yelena Belova sends Natasha antidote vials that were able to neutralize the Red Room's mind-controlling agent, which would have been able to effectively end the still-active Red Room Romanoff believed she put an end to years ago. After a spur of events and a lot of action, the sisters end up reuniting in Budapest, where Natasha learns that Dreykov is still alive and that the Red Room is still active. Together, they travel to a farm outside of St. Petersburg, where they meet up with Vostokov, who then reveals their location to Dreykov, and they end up being captured and taken to the Red Room. 2 weeks later, we see a blonde and short-haired Natasha, donning the same look we see from the Avengers Infinity War. She decides that she would then find a way to free the imprisoned Avengers like Sam Wilson and Scott Lang, and ends up finding a way to do it alongside Captain America, which we see in the post-credit scene in Civil War. Post-credit scene. With regards to post-credit scenes, it's important to also include the post-credit scene that this movie has. In the 1.5-minute clip, we see Yelena visiting Natasha's grave. The scene would tell us that this happened sometime in the future after the events of Endgame. Also, probably around the time of series Falcon and Winter Soldier, WandaVision, and Spider-Man Far From Home. This scene is an important scene for setting up Phase 5 of the MCU, as she meets Valentina Allegra de Fontaine at the grave, who insinuates trouble by telling her that it was Clint that was responsible for her beloved sister's death. The MCU timeline may be confusing, but it certainly is entertaining, and we're here for it. If you found this video enlightening enough to assist with the confusion, we hope you don't forget to like and subscribe for more videos like this. Subscribe to our channel and like this video. Hit the bell button to get notified. Get awesome content? Check out our videos now.